Hello, everyone. Good to see you all. I'm really amazed and surprised that we continue to have such great attendance at conferences and events like this. I think it's very reassuring in a lot of ways. I kind of joke that maybe instead of a structure company, we should a conference company. It's maybe the original business model. But it's really great to see these new communities and in a bear market that everyone's still as enthusiastic as they are. So I think it's really positive for the space. As mentioned, I'm the co-founder of Figment. We provide staking infrastructure to hundreds of institutional clients and to their clients. And through our exchange partners and custodial partners, we serve millions of consumers who are staking their tokens. So I don't want to talk about Figment too much. I developed this theory that staking is going to onboard the next users. You want to give me this instead? Okay. All right, I have two microphones now. All right, so this is something new that I want to try out, and I have a theory that staking, which sounds fairly technical and maybe not that interesting, is actually how we're going to get to the next billion users in crypto. So maybe a couple definitions first. So over the last 3 or 4 years, we've really seen a fairly significant change in how blockchains are run. So one, this shouldn't be construed as a negative statement about Bitcoin. I love Bitcoin. It has its role in the next version of the internet. But what we've really seen is that blockchains are now running on something called proof of stake, as opposed to proof of work. And so with the Ethereum merge, which I'm sure everyone has heard, I think that's really cemented proof of stake as the dominant consensus mechanism for blockchains. I think of it as an operating system. And so I think this is much more important than people realize. It's not just a technical change, that it really is a way that people are going to actually participate in blockchains, and I think that that's been somewhat of the problem for a user from a user adoption perspective. So let's see. Proof of stake. What do you do when you stake a token? Essentially, it sounds like a fairly technical service. But what you really do is you have, in the case of Figment, you have nodes, physical infrastructure, you have a software layer, you have a set of APIs that abstract that away, and then you may have governance and research, et cetera. And so if you need to know one really important difference from proof of work, is that with Bitcoin or proof of work, you have a token holder, and they don't really participate in running on the protocol at all. So those two audiences, the miners, the token holders, are very separate. And so really, as a token holder in Bitcoin, if you see it as a store of value, there's really no way to participate in the actual running of the protocol. With proof of stake, that really brings those two functions together. So you effectively have, as a token holder, if you have 32 ETH, you can essentially run an Ethereum node and participate in consensus and run the protocol. And I think that's, again, goes to my thesis that proof of stake is going to onboard the next billion users. I think that's really important. So hold that thought for a second. And when I'm talking about Web3, it's another poorly defined term. For me, Web3 is really like a better internet. It's the next version of the internet. We started out running infrastructure over 30 years ago. So what does that mean other than I'm old? It means that we've been through multiple versions of the internet. And when it started, we started before there was a browser. There really was a dream around disintermediated peer-to-peer communication. And I think for the first 10 years, from the 90s to the early 2000s, we really saw the explosion in creativity, disintermediation, really for the benefit of people in general. And what's happened in the last 10 years, I really think that that vision has slid backwards in some ways. So you have very large data monopolies that basically siphon off all the consumer value. So everything you're doing on your phone every day, you don't really see all the value that you create in that. It's a little bit worse than that too. I think there's these large social media platforms, aforementioned data monopolies, and they actually have really significant negative externalities that we're starting to see. So that's the algorithm that makes you angry when you read Twitter for 5 minutes. And I think that what we're doing is we're not seeing the benefits from this technology, and we're actually suffering as individuals in a society. And so I kind of asked the question, would we be better or worse off if there was no, would you be better or worse off if Twitter didn't exist or something like it? Maybe you'd be better off, but the fact that it's even a legitimate question, I think has shown that something's gone wrong. And so I really firmly believe that blockchain is going to be a counterbalance to what I've seen as a really negative trend in centralization of the internet. So we're not anarchists, obviously. We have hundreds of institutional clients, and I really see this technology as a counterbalance and really important if we're going to see the internet almost realize its version or its vision 30 years ago of a really true peer-to-peer communication mechanism between people. Okay, so that's the difference between proof of stake and proof of work, and that's what I mean by Web3, which is just a better internet. So again, I want to make the claim that because proof of stake enables you, every token holder can actually participate in running a protocol. So we all know that Ethereum has just made the migration. So again, as I said, if you have 32 ETH, you can run your own node. If you're a large holder or fiduciary, hopefully you outsource it to someone like Figment. But essentially, you just don't hold a token and wait for a number to go up. There's actually a role for token holders. It's relatively easy to participate in a blockchain. And again, why is that important? Because going back to where we started, all these people here, I think what we're actually building is a set of new communities, and they're bottom up, they're decentralized, and they're participatory. So you're all here, you're spending your time, you've flown here, whatever. And so for most tokens, up until proof of stake, there was really no way other than you to hold the token and hope the number goes up. So I think that's held back the space. But again, if you have a staking token, you can participate in consensus, you can participate in the community. I think one interesting thing with the Ethereum merge you're going to see is that every token holder now has an incentive to drive usage. So the way your reward rate is defined is partly by effectively the amount of gas used. And so now every Ethereum holder actually has a reason to, in some way, in their own way, increase adoption of that protocol. So with these incentive mechanisms going on, I think we'll see much, much greater adoption and participation in Web3, hopefully the next billion users, and I think this is going to result in a much, much better internet than what we have now, which I think is not great. So that's it. That's what I had to talk about that. If anyone, we're not allowed to take questions. I've said no. Okay, so if you have a token, stake it somehow through an exchange, through your ledger. If you're an institutional holder, talk to a company such as ours. But really see this as a way to fundamentally change what you can do with a token and how you can grow Web3, which I think, again, will be better for us all. Thank you very much.